Happy Saturday, everyone. It's Denise from Dobby Books, and happy middle grade March. Today is the 1st of March, and I'll be participating, and I've got one, two, three, four, five, six books that I'll be able to plow my way through in March and get my homework done. So let me cover what the books are. The first one that I'm going to read is Redwall Book 2. So this one's entitled Mossflower. I'm going to work through that. This is the thickest of my middle grades, but this is this is really a lovely series. It has the action that an adult would love to, would enjoy, but it's written for a younger audience, so it just kind of gives it that nice balance. So I've enjoyed this series a lot. The next one that I'm going to read is Homer Price by Robert McCloskey. I remember reading this book when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything about it. So I'm looking forward to getting reacquainted with this book. And then the next one I'm going to read is The Witches by Roald Dahl. I don't know if anybody knows what this is about. It says, this is not a fairy tale. This is about real witches. Grandmama loves to tell about witches. Real witches are the most dangerous of all living creatures on earth. I love that. There's nothing they hate so much as children, and they work all kinds of terrifying spells to get rid of them. Her grandson listens closely to Grandmama's stories, but nothing can prepare him for the day he comes face to face with the Grand High Witch herself. I'm going to love this story. This sounds fantastic. So this one, The Witches by Roald Dahl. And I want to bring up two more books by Roald Dahl that I'm going to read. And the reason I chose these two books, ironically enough, is because of the measles outbreak that we've been having in Texas. And now, from what I understand, we've had a case here in California. And also one child has died from that outbreak. And I just kind of felt inspired to do this reading because I found out a certain story about Roald Dahl that's related to measles. His oldest daughter contracted measles in 1962. The year before, in 1961, he wrote James and the Giant Peach, and he dedicated this book to her. And in this story, Roald Dahl was talking about how, his daughter was going through the illness, and just as she was coming out of the deep end. So now she was starting to recover and everything. And he said he was in his daughter's bedroom, and he was showing her how to make little animals and stuff out of pipes that would bend. I believe it was like, what did they call them? But those pipes that would bend, I know the name of them, but it's not coming to my mind. And they were doing this together. And then when she tried to do it, he noticed that her brain and her hands weren't coordinating. They weren't working together. So he asked her, "Are you all right?" And she said, "I feel all sleepy." He said an hour later, she was unconscious. 12 hours later, she died. And this was in 1962. And after that, he became an advocate for vaccinations for children. And he even put together a pamphlet at the time. I don't know what it was entitled, but I'm sure, of course, if any of you can look it up and find it, that would be wonderful. And several years later, I believe in 1986, he wrote another book for his daughter and dedicated it to her, The BFG. So I just thought, let me read these two stories in honor of Roald Dahl's daughter, who died of measles back then because there was no vaccination at the time. But now we do have a vaccination. And I think it's kind of sad that we're going through this again. So the BFG says, the BFG is no ordinary bone-crunching giant. He is far too nice and jumbly. It's lucky for Sophie that he is. Had she been carried off in the middle of the night by the blood bottler, the flesh lump eater, the bone cruncher, or any of the other giants, rather than the BFG, she would have soon become breakfast. When Sophie hears that they are flesh bunking off to England to swallow a few nice little chidlers, she decides she must stop them once and for all, and the BFG is going to help her. What a beautiful story. So I'm going to look forward to reading this as well. And my final book that I'm going to be reading is by Philip Pullman, and it's not what you think. This one is entitled Clockwork. I don't know how many of you were aware of this particular book by Philip Pullman. I certainly was not. And what really caught my eye when I went to my library sale was this cover. Just fantastic. I just couldn't stop looking at it and said, I'm going to get it. And then I saw Philip Pullman's name on it. So this is going to be cool. And this one says, an apprentice clockmaker facing failure, a writer with a story he can't control, a girl whose courage will need to match her kindness, a prince whose mechanical heart is winding down, a clockwork knight with murderous tendencies, and a doctor who just may be the devil. Their stories come together, piece by piece, in this chilling tale where nothing is as it seems, but like the gears of a strange and wonderful clock, everything fits together. So this is going to be a great read. So these are my middle grade March books that I'm going to be working my way through. And let's see if I get through them all. All right, everybody, enjoy your middle grade March, and I will see you all in a few days. Bye-bye.